They tell me that H.P. Lovecraft's writing is that of an American original. Some say that Dream Theater is the finest metal band America ever produced. Well, I don't know too much about heavy metal. I think America is the great Satan, and I never learned how to read, but I like video games and pinball. Digital Pinball Necronomicon might be the only piece of entertainment to ever synthesize all these different parts into one whole. It is a pinball game thematically rooted in the works of H.P. Lovecraft, with soundtrack contributions made by John Petrucci. That all sounds like a unique blend of Americana, but Necronomicon never saw an official release in the States. It's a Japanese Sega Saturn exclusive, and on a personal note, it's the first game I have ever imported. I made my purchase with a seller from Japan, and I was very happy with the experience. The game's case and disc arrived in condition better than a lot of new games I've purchased, and the game itself is very good. Purchase of this game was inspired by my belated acquisition of the Action Replay Plus cartridge. This affordable add-on circumvents region encoding, which opens up the vast world of Japanese Sega Saturn games. Plug it into the Sega Saturn's cartridge port and you're good to go. This is old news to any Sega Saturn enthusiast, but it's good news to me. I wish I bought this sooner. Necronomicon offers 3 different pinball tables, all with different appearances and layouts. They are minimal designs with only a few ramps on each one, but they're efficient. You will always know where your balls are going should you perfect your flipper timing. Being a digital pinball game based off of no pre-existing table designs allowed the developer to take a number of liberties. I doubt you'd find a physical pinball table with similar attributes as the ones programmed into this collection. Multi-ball in Necronomicon spews a million balls all over the playing field. I was impressed by the complete lack of slowdown when this happened. Frame rate never drops once, even at its most chaotic. Tilting the table doesn't work very well. It's nearly useless, but the playing fields are designed to minimize the amount of balls that fall out of play, escaping the reach of both flippers, necessitating a use of the tilt feature. Realms mode compiles the 3 tables into one place. The goal is to meet all the requisite demands for all the tables, but the game never explains how to meet the conditions necessary for victory. I don't read the alien language in which the instructions are written, but the game tells you where to shoot with arrows that appear when it needs you to do something. Preserve your 3 chances as long as you can, score a bunch of points, and you'll eventually see the next stage. That bunch of points could be in the billions. Not many video games afford opportunities to reach 10-digit scores, but this one does. I delayed this review in part because I wanted to show off my reflexes and skills, but even as I got better at navigating each machine, Realms mode remained difficult. The transition from easier to more challenging is smooth, with the easiest table slotted at level 1 and the hardest at level 3, but it's still a difficulty curve that gave me some problems. This level, painted in soothing hues of blue and green, was my favorite to look at, but its asymmetrical ramp and bumper placement stood in obvious contrast to the surfaces before it. The first level of Realms mode is dominated by a searingly bright red, which is the brightest red I've ever seen on a television. This does not come through on the cheap composite to USB cable I used to record, and it doesn't come through on a modern television set. I only got this glowing shade of red on a CRT. These games just look better on older televisions. Going back to the music, the intro and outro themes have the name recognition to their credit, but the rest of the soundtrack by Target Laboratory is good. It takes elements from metal, electronic, and industrial with some cool spoken word overlays, the contents of which I'm assuming come from Lovecraft novel passages, but I could be assuming wrong. Necronomicon's overall aesthetic is just very cool. Maybe the soundtrack sounds too much of its time for your tastes, but I'd rather have music err on the side of ephemeral rather than generic. Even the menus look good, and don't sleep on the full motion video. As far as I'm concerned, every game needs grainy live action footage. Necronomicon's video segments have that postmodern MTV style, and it's a look that I like a lot. I have no idea what any of this imagery means, but it's cool and mysterious. Making cool looking things for the mere sake of it is not a goal many creative types have for their work anymore, or all these these videos could have great significance in relation to Lovecraft's work, and I'm just talking nonsense. But even if that's the case, I'll never get another chance to bring up this subject again, and I thank this game's existence for inspiring this discussion. With respect to realism, Necronomicon doesn't compare favorably to the excellent Pinball Hall of Fame collections. Those games feature perfectly translated versions of real pinball machines with controls and physics that replicate an authentic experience as well as a digital product could possibly deliver. Necronomicon doesn't have those features, but it doesn't need them, and I don't think it's trying to strive in that direction anyway. Its quick pace and one-of-a-kind style places Necronomicon highly within my hierarchy of favorite pinball video games.